Audi TT Mk1 refurbishing front wishbones. Hi all, Andy here and welcome back to the channel, where today I am turning this very old and tired wishbone, complete with knick-knacked bushes, into this fully refurbished wishbone, complete with new bushes. All done at home, I might add. So this video is going to turn this into this. Now I have just done a video on how to remove bushes at home without a press, so if you'd like to check out that video, please do check out the video link above. However, today is going to be about refurbishing the metal cast iron part of the wishbone. There will be a subsequent video coming that shows you how to press bushes back into a wishbone without a press, so also please check out the video link above. Right, let's talk a little bit more about this indoors. Interestingly, I know I can take this wishbone and put it on either the 225 Roadster or my 3.2 Coupe, because the part is essentially the same. The left hand front lower control arm or wishbone part number is 8N0407-165 and the right hand is 8N0407-166. Let's take a closer look at this passenger side wishbone. This is the rear bush hole, so this is where your rear bushing goes into the wishbone, and this is where the front bushing goes into the wishbone. And for installing this particular bushing, it's going to come in from this side from what I can see. Give these bushing holes a good clean out on the inside, get it all rubbed down, get it looking nice and shiny, give it a rust treatment and then get it painted. Before I do that, I need to press the bushes out, which I did at home, including removing the bushing casings without a press in the video link above. So I'm going to do this outside to minimise any contamination. I started off with a wire wheel on my drill, which was okay as it lifted most of the loose rust and old paint off quite easily. However, it did not have enough aggressiveness to attack some of the more ingrained rust and secure paint. So for that I resorted to this wire rotary brush that screws onto an angle grinder. The bristles are more coarse and stiffer and able to shift even the most stubborn of corrosion. So after a good clean up, all the rust has been removed with the wire brush and a wire brush attachment on my angle grinder. I've even polished up the inside of where the bushing housings will go. I've removed all of the corrosion. So my next step is to give this a quick paint with kurust and then get a top coat of hammerite on that as well. One wishbone before the treatment with the wire brush and one after. Old bushes still in place on this one, pretty rusty, flaky paint, looking nasty. And then here's the one that I completely wire brushed down. There's no rust on this now. For the rust prevention treatment, I'm using some kurust, and it's important when you paint this on, you don't just dip it in the pot, that you have a separate pot, because you'll be putting contaminants in this and it'll all become no good. So what I'm going to do is dip that, just apply this to the entire wishbone. And you'll notice it starts to go like a bluey black colour as it starts to seal. Make sure you get a good coat of this on, cover up any potential bit of rust, any exposed surface, and then leave that to dry. So while the wishbone is now dry and the rust treatment is dry, looks good in black compared to the rusty one, I am now going to give this a coat of equivalent of hammerite, Parkside. So this is going to be light grey when it's finished, rather than black, and that way it'll allow me to see where I've been. And I also think with it being grey, it will allow me to see the wishbone under the car when I wash the car. It will allow me to ensure there's no rust coming through, because that would show up as a dark area on the wishbone. So I think it'll be an easier task moving forward from a maintenance perspective. Let's get it painted. Whoa, pause that painting for just one moment. If you are fitting bushings in the control arms at home and using a vise or similar, I would advise getting them pushed back into the arms before trying to paint. Otherwise, you run the risk of damaging the fresh paintwork and leading to touching up the paintwork once again. I found this to be the case when trying to install my bushes. So get the bushes pressed back in at this stage with the rust treatment applied. It's useful if you're going to paint the arms by hand or mask up the bushes if you are spraying. Anyway, onto the paintwork. I could have powder coated these wishbones, but as mentioned earlier in the video, I had seen some bad reports about it coming off in big clumps and chipping and being difficult to remove in future. I figured it would be easier to strip off a coat of hammerite with a wire brush in future than it would to remove powder coat. This makes a massive difference to the look of the wishbone, but also don't apply it too thickly. You can always give it a second coat if you need to, but the last thing you want is any globular like runs on it. With the paint taking 24 hours to fully dry, here is a side-by-side comparison of the corroded and newly painted control arm to show the difference. You can see the details such as the part number and texture of the cast metal is still visible through the paint, but coated enough to give the uniform look and protection it needs. There is another video coming to the channel shortly on my lessons learned when fitting bushes at home without a press, which I did manage to do successfully in the end, so please do check that out. After a bit of blood, sweat and tears, here is the end result of the control arm with its fresh coat of paint and reinstalled bushings. I will let you decide what you think, and please do let me know in the comments. The cost to me, well, the second hand set of arms was £30 from a breaker's yard, and the bushing kit was around £30 also. If you add the paint to this, although there was loads left, it's cost me £65 to have 2 OEM fresh lower control arms. Buying a brand new set of aftermarket ones online will cost a lot more than that. It's also satisfying to bring something back to life while giving me another set of wishbones for the spares collection. If you like what you've seen today in this video, then please do think about giving this video a thumbs up, and also think about subscribing to my channel if you've not already done so, where you'll find a whole host of content on the Audi TT Mk1 and the Audi platform in general. As always, thanks for watching, see you soon. Take care.